I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to my sponsor, P2 Collectibles, located at 204 East McGalley Road in Muncie and on eBay as well. So next time you're here in Muncie, let us know. Come give us a visit.
Hey, what is up, y'all? This is Alex from Plus 3 TCG, and today we're going to be talking about cards you may not know about in Soul Fusion. This is going to be an expansion set that we are getting in October 19th. And if you're new to the channel, this is a segment where I talk about cool or useful cards in the new expansion sets that have not really gotten a ton of hype, and today is no different. So let's just hop right in to these cards. So the first one we're going to be looking at is Trap Trick. It is a normal trap. You banish one normal trap from your deck, except Trap Trick. And if you do, set one card with the same name as that card from your deck. It can be activated this turn. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you can only activate one trap card. So I think this card is kind of cool because it has some potential as a side card, because it essentially is playing an additional 1 to 3 copies of whatever normal trap card you have in your side. This stuff that comes to mind is like Mind Crush, Artifact Sanctum, Infinite Impermanence, Torrential Tribute, any of the trap coal cards. There's just so many good normal trap cards that you can immediately activate and interrupt your opponent's turn. So I think this is going to be a card that is most definitely going to see some side deck in maybe more casual, maybe not so much competitive. But I do see this being in some competitive side decks because we see a lot of cards like Artifact Sanctum and Mind Crush that are very represented in the meta in side decks. So I think this is a potential option to play, because essentially playing, if you play 3 Trap Trick and 3 Mind Crush or 3 Artifact Sanctum, then you're playing 6 copies of that. And I think that is very, very relevant. The next card is Extra Toll. It is a continuous trap, and it reads, both players must send a card from their hand to the graveyard to declare an attack. Now, I know this doesn't seem like anything too extreme or anything too meta-defining, but like I said, I think this is a really cool card that is going to potentially see some play in anti-meta strategy. It seems like a very interesting anti-meta strategy, considering this stops almost any OTK deck, as they'll probably have used most of their resources in hand to make a board that can push for game. Well, if you don't have any cards in hand, you can't attack. So even if they only have like a like let's say there's Dinos in Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, no cards in, or one card in hand, they only get to attack once. So Ultimate Conductor Tyranno loses a lot of value with a card like this if you choose to side it in or main it in an anti-meta strategy. Moving on though, we are going to go to our first monster, which is Goki Pol. It is an Earth Insect level 3 effect monster with an attack of 1,000 and defense of 1,200. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one level 4 insect monster from your deck to your hand. In addition, if you added a normal monster by this effect, you can special summon it. Then you can destroy one monster on the field whose attack is higher than or equal to the attack of the special summon monster. The reason I talk about this is because, one, it's some good support for insects, and 2, it works pretty cool with the next card we'll be talking about. But it allows you to add cards like Resonance Insect, Insectipede, any of the C cards, like, well, no longer Max C, but like Flying C, Contact C, all those cards. And most of the Trap Trick monsters as well. I know some of them are plants, but some are also insects. It also allows you to add that one Shonen Jump card that we don't know if we're going to get. It's like a Black Ranger C or something like that. But that is a Shonen Jump OCG exclusive card right now, and we don't know if we're ever going to get that. And if we don't ever get it, it's not that big of a deal, because we still have monsters that we can summon off of the next card, which is Giant Ballpark. That's the reason I mentioned Goki Pol in the first place, because we're getting Giant Ballpark in this set, which is a really cool field spell, which reads, during damage calculation, you can sorry y'all, you can make the battle damage that both players receive from that battle become 0, and if you do, you can send one level 4 lower insect monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then, if the monster you sent was a normal monster, you can special summon any number of cards with the same name as that monster from your hand, deck, and or graveyard. If a monster you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one insect normal monster from your graveyard. Now the last one, I don't know if it's being used as much. I think that's just more of a reactive effect. Well, this whole field spell is pretty reactive, but it does allow you to turbo out your big level 4 insect monsters. In the case of the OCG, they have that cool Black Ranger C card. I think we have some insects that are pretty big, like 1900. And I think that's going to be our option for now. But other than that, this is a goofy card. It enables some pretty cool OTKs with that, like I was saying, with the new insect monster, Goki Pol. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else this card can do if we ever get the rest of the C insect support. That'd be pretty cool. I know there's another one that is like a big monster that you can special summon. It special summons itself, or I think, don't quote me on that, I'm not too sure. But anyways, we're just going to move on to the next card. This is Clock Wyvern. It is a monster, wind, Cyberse, level 4, attack 1800 and defense 1000. With the effect of, if this card is normal or special summon, you can have this card's attack, and if you do, special summon 1 clock token, which is a Cyberse, wind, level 1, attack 0, defense 0. And you can only use this effect of Clock Wyvern once per turn, so it's a hard once per turn. I just think this is cool because additional support for Cyberse monsters. I know Cyberse is a pretty bad deck, but as far as like casual decks go, the fact that you can extra link your opponent with a deck that costs less than $30 is pretty cool. This isn't exactly what they needed, considering they have so many freaking extenders already. They need more starters that facilitate comboing off of these additional extenders, but I guess more token generators will do, I guess. I don't really think that's what they needed, but whatever, I guess. Regardless, I'm excited for the future of Cyberse. Archetype is just a fun casual deck. Anyways, now we're going to be looking at some more ritual stuff, seeing as how I've been posting some ritual decks on the channel lately. There's new Incantation monsters, and I think these just add a new dynamic, or a more extension dynamic to any ritual deck. But Incantation Bookstone, it's a monster, dark, level 5, spellcaster, same attack as all the Incantation monsters, attack and defense are 0. You can reveal 1 ritual spell in your hand, special summon both this card from your hand and 1 Incantation monster from your deck. If this card is special summoned from the deck, you can target 1 ritual spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use 1 Incantation Bookstone effect per turn, and only once that turn. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. It's pretty much just like all the Incantation monsters. There's only 2, but all the Incantation monsters pretty much have the same effect of reveal, special, and then they get effects when they're special, when one of them are special. This one, you can target a ritual spell and add it to in your grave and add it to your hand. I think that's relevant because it gives you some extension. But we'll just move on and talk about them as a whole later. Incantation Pen Silver. This one's nice. Monster, dark, level 3, psychic. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Attack and defense 0. You can reveal 1 ritual monster in your hand, special summon both this card from your hand and 1 incantation monster. And if this card is special summoned from the deck, you can target 1 ritual monster in your grave and add it to your hand. You know what the rest is. They all do the same thing. I think the new incantation cards are neat, as they allow additional extension for ritual decks, as well as just ritual fodder pretty much, and additional float aspect, because before we didn't have as much float from the grave, we didn't have a good transition from deck to field to grave, and now the Bookstone and Pen Silver allow that. Another cool feature is in Incantation Pen Silver and its type, because it's a psychic, which means it can be summoned out with emergency teleport, getting you more value out of its effect, because you can essentially play 4 Pen Silver if you choose. The problem I see with this is bad turn 1, because you have to target a ritual monster in your graveyard, which means you already have to have a ritual monster have been on the field and gotten destroyed. Maybe this is good for Cyber Angels because of Ben 10 and the additional extenders that they get. But yeah, I think they're cool. Maybe 2 ofs in the deck if you're going to be playing them. However, I don't see these as good cards going first. They're just good going second. Or not even going second, just like turn 3, because you need to be able to have some recurrence. So with all of that in mind, these are the cards that I chose to go over that I thought were cool, that could be relevant. Let me know down in the comments section below if you think I missed out on anything else in Soul Fusion. This is Alex from +3 TCG. Signing out, y'all.